Welcome to Southie Sessions, a podcast presented by Alison South Marketing and hosted by me, Emily Ann Lively. Here at Alison South, we ring a cowbell to celebrate our successes, whether big or small. On this show, we'll be celebrating successes with ink slingers, idea bringers, scribblers, and strategists from the Augusta area and beyond. We'll get to hear their started from the kitchen table stories and learn why they ring the cowbell. Hi, and welcome to Southie Sessions. My name's Emily Ann Lively, and I'm your host. I'm also a Southie. What is a Southie? Well, it's an endearing term that we use here at Alison South for our employees. So I have been a hashtag Southie. Ugh, that was cringy. Hashtag Southie for about a year now. I'm an account manager here. I manage 14 clients and help them achieve their marketing goals. I definitely cannot take any sort of credit for anyone's success because I have an amazing team of people behind me. We have an amazing team of graphic designers, web developers, strategists, social media content curators, podcasters now, and the list goes on. I'm just really grateful to be a part of this team and to have this platform. Essentially, why I wanted to start this podcast is because not only do we have a great internal team of people, but we have a great external team of people who keep us going and give us a reason to be here. So I really wanted to highlight all of our amazing clients. We have clients across many states now: Florida, North Carolina, Tennessee, South Carolina, and the list goes on. So we are growing every single day, and I wanted to showcase that and showcase the people that give us work and support us. So I'm very long-winded. I don't want to talk anymore. I'm going to turn it over to my amazing guest and one of actually my favorite clients, even though don't get a big head because I have 14 clients and they're all my favorite clients. Three of the amazing gentlemen from Doc's Porchside. Hey!
Gentlemen.
Hello.
Gentlemen? Was that the wrong term to use?
That term so loosely
That
now.
is a very loose.
All right, we got to get some introductions going because we only have 30 minutes to talk with you guys. So let's start with you, Chris.
I'm Chris.
Chris?
Yeah.
Chris what? And what
Chris,
do you do?
I'm Chris Parish, and I'm a manager at Doc's Porchside.
That's awesome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Chris is awesome. I'm Daniel Scholer.
Okay.
And I
The only one not in Doc's Porchside gear.
That's correct.
So interesting choice, but we'll let it slide.
I'm going to blame that on my marketing account manager.
I'm going to take a sip of my White Claw.
And I work at Doc's Porchside.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Paul Jones. I obviously also am a manager at Doc's Porchside.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All
We
right.
gave Paul this shirt on the side of the road 15 minutes
Yeah,
ago.
I've never met you before. I don't actually think you work for Doc's. So.
I'm actually a hired actor.
Well, you're doing great. Glad to have you. So a big part of why I wanted to start this podcast was to kind of hear the origin stories of, our clients and our employees and people in the community. So I really just wanted to hear your story, all three of you, how you got connected, how you started with Doc's, and what kind of led you there. So Daniel, it's a lot to pack into like 30 minutes, but can you kind of give us a spiel of who you are and why you started in the restaurant business?
Yeah. So the reason I ended up in the restaurant business is I started college at the Citadel.
Okay,
in
but you're from
Charleston.
here, right?
I am from here.
Okay.
Yep. And when my parents would come visit me at the Citadel, we would go eat at Wild Wing Cafe in Mount Pleasant or downtown, wherever, right? And in my sophomore year, we were sitting there eating, and Mom was like, wouldn't this be fun to open one of these in Augusta?
Just casually, like she just said that.
Yeah, pretty much. So then they reached out and bought the franchise rights for Augusta, and it just so happened that I got suspended from college that year.
Good timing.
For a year.
Really good timing.
During that year, we opened up Wild Wing, and I started bar backing, and I was 20, and I never went back to the Citadel and just stayed and kind of moved up through the restaurant.
That is incredible. So how long was the Augusta one open before you opened the Grovetown location?
14 years.
14 years.
14 years.
That's crazy.
Yep.
So you started as a bar back. That's what you said?
Yep.
Okay. And then how long were you doing that until kind of you shifted into?
So I was a bar back, and I would help out doing whatever.
Yeah.
Waiting tables, bussing, anything that needed to be done. Really, nothing really in the back of the house, all front of the house stuff.
Were your parents super involved at that point then?
Mom was a day-to-day manager at that point. So
Okay.
she was like
How
the
long
owner
did she do
operator.
that?
She did that for probably 10 years. What? Yep.
So no wonder she's really invested in.
Oh yeah,
the restaurant.
For sure. Yeah, she's built a lot of the relationships that we have with
Right.
customers and employees and things like that too.
Right.
I mean, she's kind of the heart and soul for a long time.
When did it kind of gain momentum? Like when did Wild Wings kind of get to be? I guess it would be an Augusta staple. I mean, people love it. People know
day
it.
one, we were crazy. It was
Really?
for 3 years. I don't think we caught a break.
Because you purchased that building from. It was a different restaurant. It was a brewery.
It was, but it was empty. So it was vacant for like 2 years before we bought it.
Okay.
Yep.
What?
Yep.
That's so cool.
And then we renovated it, pretty much gutted it, built it up, and then we beat it up for the next 16 years.
Some crazy
And then
clientele that you have. But
Yeah.
y'all stay busy the whole time.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, so Chris, when did you kind of come into the picture then?
I came into the picture in 2006, early 2006, just as a server.
Wow.
Walked in, filled an application, and Tracy hired me on the spot.
And why stay for so long? What is it about working there that makes you want to stay?
You feel like family up there.
Right.
It's just real easy to get comfortable with the people you're around, and it's just real easy to fall in love with the place.
I mean, that's pretty unheard of in the restaurant business for people
Yeah.
to stay that long.
Yeah.
It's just crazy to me.
Yeah, that's one of the most impressive things about, working, at Doc's and
Right.
Wild Wing before that. But, we have people who've been there since day one.
Yeah. Like Peanut, right?
Yeah,
Peanut,
He's been
Miss
there
Betty
since
have
day
been there
one.
since day one.
And
Yep.
what are their roles there?
Peanut's a kitchen manager.
Okay.
And Miss Betty is one of our prep ladies.
That's awesome.
Yep.
They're both so great.
Yep.
They're so
they
nice.
are.
They're awesome. All right, Paul. So when did you kind of come into the picture?
So I came into the picture before I ever started working there.
Attending or?
Yes, my older brother was a bartender at Wild Wing Cafe for many years. So
In Augusta, at the
Yes.
one in Augusta. Okay.
yes, and I think he
Long
helped out.
time.
He helped out at the one in Athens and
Yeah.
Columbia. at
Yeah,
that
we had a
point,
few other
whatever.
stores along the way
Yeah.
too.
But so officially, when I turned 21, I started hanging out at Wild Wing Cafe.
Right.
And I fell in love with the place. I was working
How old are you now?
27.
Wow. Okay.
But I had been around the restaurant for years before I ever turned 21.
Yeah.
But when I became a quote unquote bar regular, I was getting off from my 9-to-5 job, coming up there, hanging out, made relationships with some of the other managers, one of which is one of my best friends in the world now, Greg. And
Greg is the best.
Oh, yeah. We'd hang out and everything. And one day I just mentioned in passing, I was like, I come here every day and I spend money that I should be saving and everything. I was like, I'm thinking about getting a night job, like just something random,
Right.
And he was like, it was probably 2:30 in the morning. And he was like, come in tomorrow at 5, you're hired.
Wow.
And I was
Are you
like,
serious?
Yeah. And I was like, dude, I don't want to work.
I
Those
could
were the
see
only
that
words
happening.
Greg spoke that night.
Yeah. I was like,
I know. We could totally
man.
trick people and just say that Greg's here.
Oh, yeah,
and everyone would
absolutely.
believe us.
He's right there.
He's actually here.
Greg is always present.
He's always here.
Yeah, Greg is a wizard.
And I
pretty sure
came
he's over
in that
2,000
next
years
night. Came in that next night and started training to serve. And after like 3 months of serving, I was working both jobs and juggling that and everything. And I was like, man, forget this other place. I was like, I love it here.
Yeah.
And never looked back.
Is it kind of the same reason as Chris? Like you just feel like family?
Absolutely. I mean, I felt like family before I ever worked there.
Yeah.
If you're hanging out with the bar staff and the servers and everything, you walk in.
Well, yeah.
And before you even make it to the bar, it's Miller Lite and Fireball are sitting there waiting on you.
Right.
Like, you just feel like you're part of something,
Right.
which is one of the biggest things we try to sell.
I mean, I feel the same way, and I don't even technically I work with you. I don't work at the store. But I feel like all of you coming in for that initial meeting, and then Tracy and Jan, obviously, like it's just felt like family from the beginning. So it's easy to do your best work for people who appreciate you and feel like
you're part of the cult now. Right?
I'm in there.
We've got a blood drinking ceremony for
great.
planned today too.
Can't wait. Excited for that one. I knew it was coming. That's awesome. So obviously, Wild Wings was around for a really long time, and it was a staple in our community. So Doc's Porchside was a huge change, not only for you and your family, but for all of your extended family, and then for Augusta. Like it's been a huge change. When did you you don't have to go into all the nitty gritty if you don't want to, but when did that shift kind of happen in your mind? Like we're going to try this. We're going to do our own thing. Like even from the menu, like I want to hear it all. How did you come up with the recipes? I want it all.
I kind of blacked out.
Why are you laughing?
And we're here now.
It's been a long 3 years.
Everything's
don't remember
blurry,
anything.
And all of a sudden we opened another restaurant.
We decided to do this on April 30th of this year.
Right. That was a quick turnaround.
Yeah.
Like the initial thoughts of all of it.
Yeah.
April 30th.
Yeah. So, I mean, we had very loosely talked about doing our own thing eventually, but it eventually could have been 10 years down the road or whatever. And then, some things happened,
and COVID was just kind of, not coming to a close, but
there was a couple of kind of a series of events that kind of laid it out where it was kind of like it's now or never type deal.
Yeah.
And we were just ready to do our own thing and be in control of the whole operation. We've always been in control of the operation, but we've had to, adhere to different standards and kind of getting pushed in a way that we didn't want to go. So we wanted to do our own thing. So
that's awesome.
Really like the very end of April.
Yeah.
I listened to a conference call, and I called my parents afterwards, and I was like, we're going to do it. We need to do it now.
Yeah. How many people did you consult, not really consult, but kind of confide in that you were thinking about this? I mean, you have so many people who are in your kind of inner circle there, and it affects everybody. When did you kind of have those initial conversations like, hey guys, we're going to change?
A couple days later.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So we, maybe even the next day. I mean, I called my parents. I said, if we're going to do it, let's do it now. And they said, okay. I called the bank, and I called our contractor, and literally just standing in my driveway talking to both of them for probably an hour.
That's insane.
And was like,
that's like calling 911 when someone's hurt. Like that's a lot of first calls you have to make.
If we need money, can we get it? And can you flip this restaurant for us if we decide to do it this summer? And it was like, yeah, we can do it. All right, cool. Yeah, we'll get you the money if we need it. All right, let's go.
Do you think you were so successful in the flip? I mean, we're not there yet, but through all of that because of your relationships like in Augusta and who you've kind of met over the years?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, if we couldn't.
Kind of calling in a favor, phoning a line to people that you know.
Yeah, it's like, that's why you try to. It's a benefit of doing good business with people and having good relationships.
Right.
And trying to
treat
your
family is
right.
Yeah. Right.
So I wouldn't so much say call in favors, but it was like, hey, we need help. And everybody that we talked to was like, all right, let's do it.
That's awesome. And to be a part of something bigger and greater. And I mean, just knowing how much publicity this whole thing was going to get. Man. I mean, wow, I'm still sweating.
This is big.
It's still a lot.
I haven't slept yet.
I know. So when it comes to the menu, obviously the menu was such a huge, hot button item because everybody, had their staple things that they ordered when they came to Wild Wings, and it was all about the wings or the buffarella or whatever. Yeah. How did you kind of formulate, are you a cook and you just didn't tell anyone? No. How did you come up with these recipes?
We just really like good food.
Cheers to that. I do too.
Yeah, we literally in our group text just started throwing out ideas for different stuff, and
everybody was involved.
Yeah,
got all the bad ideas out first.
Yeah. My favorite practice is to get all the bad ideas out first. So there were some terrible ideas.
Like what? Do you have? Can you remember anything? Or are you
probably my favorite one?
Are we gonna
stuffed avocados?
Stuffed avocados.
Sorry, Jesse.
She's going to listen to this and be so mad at
Jesse,
y'all.
No, we love Jesse.
We do love Jesse, but Jesse, that's a horrible idea.
Oh,
And now Jesse hates him, Leanne.
Oh, no. Sorry, Jesse. So, but seriously, like, so you literally had a group text.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That was kind of like, what do you like about our current menu? What do you want to see on a new one? Pretty much.
It was like, all right, we kind of had a general theme we were going to go.
Right. The Southern kind of twist
Southern,
on.
Yep.
yeah.
Right.
Yep. And then it just kind of started building. Like, we didn't know.
And this was before you even had a name, like any sort of idea of anything.
We didn't know we were going to do rec techs. We didn't know we were going to
That's crazy.
do our own, smoking things, brands, nothing. We just literally and we had a lot more ideas that we threw out too. We might come back to later on.
Right. You can always change it. You
just
have
kind
something
of
special. It happened.
Fell into place pretty much.
So, to put you on the spot, what's your favorite menu item? I know mine.
So I'm going to go ahead and say the manager profile that was posted said the pork patty melt.
Okay, yours was also like an audition for The Bachelor or something, so we're just going to disregard that.
Let's point
The
out
Bachelor
the
of
fact that
Hepzibah? Like, what are we talking about
hold on.
here?
The day that profile was posted, a large group of ladies showed up at the restaurant that night to meet Paul.
No, to bring their friend to meet Paul.
That is
deep down
amazing.
inside, they wanted to. Excuse me. They wanted to meet Paul as well.
That is amazing. For those of you watching or listening on our Get Out, we posted on our Instagram a manager spotlight of Paul, and all of the ladies showed up to meet him. That is too much.
He laid it
That
up
is
there.
exactly what I thought y'all were gonna do.
Yeah, I teed that one up.
You can't do that.
Yeah, you did.
Gracious.
That's awesome. Okay, wait. So
Sorry,
what
I
is
am
your?
red.
What is your? You are? Why? Are you nervous?
I was just laughing. No, I'm not nervous at all.
Good. I wanted to make you nervous. That's what I'm doing. Wait. So what is your favorite menu item?
Weirdly enough, the catfish has become my most recent
not tried
favorite. I mean, you order the. All right, this is a pro tip here.
Okay. Inside scoop.
You order the fish and chips. By default, it comes with the catfish, the chips, and the grits.
Yeah.
But you can sub the chips and grits for any two sides. So you get collards and grits, and then 3 big pieces of catfish. I mean, it's
That's amazing.
it's a lot of food. I had to censor myself there.
Plate.
It's a man's
hard
plate
meal.
for a decent amount. Like, I mean, for a decent price,
Right.
And I've been killing that thing. Like, and then
That's awesome.
oh yeah,
I need to try it. I
Tried
haven't
the
tried
catfish
that.
Really
po'
do.
boy
I
do.
today.
Good.
It's stupid good.
That's awesome. Chris, what's your favorite?
I've been in love with the redneck egg rolls since
so
we first
You and
tested them out.
everybody else.
I know.
Yes.
It's ridiculous.
That's a fan favorite. It's almost a cult
Bestseller.
favorite at this point.
Bestseller to the point, first week we were open, we could not keep up.
What's in the egg rolls for people?
It's pimento cheese, collards, and pulled pork.
They're so good.
And we serve it with a
With
side
the-
of jalapeno ranch.
Chef's kiss.
And if you like
So
a barbecue
good.
sauce with it, we recommend the bonsai.
Oh, yum.
Yeah, it's very good.
Wow.
That's
Okay,
delicious.
Daniel, what's yours?
I've got a two-way tie between the burnt ends and the catfish.
The burnt ends are so good.
Burnt ends
Yeah.
are good. The catfish is awesome.
Yeah.
Like if
I need to try it.
Yeah, if I'm getting something to take home, I'm ordering either a catfish po' boy or the fish and chips.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Your fried green tomato salad is very good.
it is.
It's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Besides the chips. But the fried green tomato salad's amazing. All right, I'm going to get us back on track a little bit more, but what about the whole naming, branding process? Like obviously I've been there since day one for that, but kind of, I mean, you brought in every single person who is on the manager staff and involved a lot of people and a lot of opinions, which normally we shy away from because normally that means people don't agree. There's always going to be 5 people who hate every single idea.
Right.
So why bring in all those people? And then how did you kind of say yes to Doc's Porchside? Like what stood out about that to you?
I mean, I brought all the people in because I wanted them involved.
Yeah.
You know, they're all part
Yeah.
of it. And we're a team.
That's pretty awesome.
Yep. So
I don't think a lot of people would do that.
Yeah.
I really don't. Y'all are very lucky to be a part of those initial
You
phases.
gotta tell me. There's a reason we've been here as long as we have. With no plans of leaving.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Noted.
It affects all of them too.
Right.
So I wanted them to have a say in.
And kind of understand the beginning phases of it all.
Right.
Right.
Yep. And then.
Because that was a quick turnaround. What did we name it? You came up with all the menu items, and then we implemented it in like 2 months.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Which is insane. Yeah.
That's pretty. I am. You know what? Great job, all of us. Seriously.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That was awesome.
Cheers.
That was
I can't reach,
epic.
but in spirit.
Hey, great
you know.
job.
No, like I'd go home and tell my wife, like, we're a bunch of psychopaths for thinking that we could
Do that so quickly.
open 2 restaurants
Right.
in less than 3 months.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think we came up internally here, came up with a bunch of names. We sat around and took Jello shots and drank beer and channeled our inner Paul, Chris, and Daniel.
That's how all creative meetings should be.
And
Yep.
Let's get creative.
what did we give you? Like 3 names that we loved in order of preference, and then you said, "Okay, like this, this works."
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm sure your dad
and
was
really
loving it.
Dad was really happy about that. He loves
Right.
it. But it really makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Do you remember when
fitting.
you asked us what we thought the name should be and how horrible that thread
so
was?
many bad
Wait, what?
ideas.
I need to know all the bad ideas for that.
Oh, no, you don't.
Because I know it was like smoky, peachy. There was all kinds of.
Jesse's?
Why are we knocking on Jesse?
Augie's.
Oh, Jesse.
Hold on. What was
No.
Jesse, I love you. I really do. You're going to listen to this.
Oh no.
You're gonna
Augie's
hate
down
all
home
of us.
Pub and Grub or something?
Yeah,
like
Augie's
Oh.
Pub and Grub. That's what it was.
That.
And when she said it to me, I lied to her. And I said, yeah, that's a good idea.
Oh.
Yeah.
Poor
Poor
Jesse. God. Bless her heart. Well, yeah, Doc's Porchside is the perfect name.
Absolutely.
So for people who don't know, your dad, Jan Scholer, is affectionately known as Doc's.
Yep.
Doc.
Doc. Yep.
So when did he kind of get that nickname?
Actually, it was some buddies of mine from the Citadel that gave him that nickname.
It's all full circle.
Yeah.
The
Yep.
Citadel gave you that name and also kicked you out.
My buddy.
That's amazing.
My buddy, who he was a good friend. He still is a good friend of mine, but his name's Kevin O'Donnell, and he called my dad Doc. All
That's
the time.
awesome.
He was from Pittsburgh, big Yankee.
Yeah.
And that's all he ever called him. Never asked him if he was cool. Like
And it
everybody else
stuck.
called him Dr. Scholer, and Kevin was always like, Doc. And then everybody else started calling him that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And it just stuck.
Yep.
So we honestly owe him a little bit of credit
Yeah.
for all of this.
I hadn't talked to him in years, but for sure, we do.
Not going to lie, I did not know Doc's first name for the first 2 years that I worked at the
You just thought it was Doc.
I figured I wasn't important enough to know that man's name.
That's awesome. So kind of what do you think was the biggest struggle about all of this and closing the Wild Wings?
The time frame.
Really?
Yeah.
I would
probably.
think so too.
Yeah,
it
the
was
time
a
frame
lot.
was the biggest hurdle to get over and the
And
biggest thing to overcome.
Yeah.
Really, because normally you've got 6 months to a year.
Right.
Easy.
Right.
You plan out when you're opening a restaurant over a year,
Right.
and it takes a long time. We built Grovetown. From the time we decided to do Grovetown to when it opened up was easily a year and a half.
Yeah.
And
And we're still working against
like
the time.
2 months.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Stupid.
Who all did you use? Like who can you say kudos to for, helping you get everything ready? You said Countersink was a big part of it, or
Well, Countersink did the bar top at the
Okay.
Augusta store.
Okay.
The biggest help would be you guys, Alison South, U.S. Foods,
Yeah.
and Jerry Sutton with DCS contract. He did all of our
the construction.
He built our Grovetown store when we did Wild Wing, and he flipped both of them for us. And
So
they do
what's
this.
different?
And then we had 52 Creative.
Oh,
that
and
did all
52
the-
Creative.
All the
Yep.
media.
Oh,
Yep.
that's awesome.
Which they also did when we were building Grovetown. They were a big part of that.
Yeah.
A guy named Ben Woodward that heads that up. Great guy.
Right. And I think you used Meemaw had one again.
Meemaw
right?
had one. It helped
That's
a whole lot.
so cool that you could use
Yep.
them so long ago and then use them again.
So they decorated the Augusta store originally, and then we used them to do our Athens store when we bought it. And then they did Grovetown, and then they did both of them for us again when we just flipped them to Docks.
And I don't think people, when they initially, at least when they walk in the Augusta store, really take the time to kind of notice how different it is. But it is different.
It is different.
It looks totally different.
It is different.
Mm-hmm.
That new bar, the decorations, what else? The paint.
The
paint.
The soffit being gone over the bar, that's the
biggest change.
Right. It's so open in there.
Yeah, and just cleaning up the walls. And as far as like, there was so much stuff.
Yeah.
You know, we've got some cool, like, unique pieces on the wall now, but it's not as much. And it really, like, makes the place look more open and clean.
And you had a lot more say in it this go round because obviously you're doing this all on your own.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
Well,
different look.
It looks great. And the outside bar, you changed the patio out there a little bit, didn't you?
Well, the side patio.
Oh, it looks really good.
The side patio, yeah.
Yeah, we
awesome.
had that redone, and it looks like a whole another place to hang out.
That's awesome. And you still have live music. You still have live events. I mean, it's really kind of the same idea, but just different, you know, down home kind of local feel.
Yep. I think the same recipe as far as like what we do up there is, you know, football games and events and live music and all that, but it's just
right.
You know.
Well, that's awesome. Well, I'm trying to think of more questions I can ask you.
I'm actually really impressed that you don't have a script in front of you
Yeah.
right now.
Really?
Yeah.
You've been rattling this off.
They're genuine questions.
Yeah, I'm super impressed with this.
Well, thanks. It's alcohol induced. Just kidding. I want to think of something like funny to ask you guys that isn't too inappropriate.
Whatever you want.
Like not like your favorite memory, but also your favorite memory, like over the years.
Oh
wow.
But not anything inappropriate, like a crack pipe.
Yeah, finding crack pipes in the toilet.
Yeah.
And syringes out.
Probably the best memories are like the really crazy times that we did, that we came out through successfully, like our most busy Masters week.
Okay. I'm going to put a cap in that and ask it to you in a different way, and then you can say that.
Okay.
Okay.
I've got a good one for that too.
Okay, awesome. So a big premise of what we do at Alison South, the reason that Will Ferrell is clanging a cowbell on the screen is because our mantra is more cowbell, which comes from this amazing sketch. But really, anytime, any success, it's not getting a new client. It's not, it's not limited to anything. We ring the cowbell for any sort of achievement. So over the years, why do you ring the cowbell? What success do you have that you can kind of point out that you're proud of?
I think probably one of the best successes for us was the addition of that patio at Washington Road, the front patio, the one on Washington Road.
When did that happen?
2016.
Yeah.
That was a huge change.
Huge.
Because you were busy anyways for Masters Week, but that adds to it.
Right. But that changed the whole building. It changed the whole restaurant.
Yeah. And there's its own bar and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
How many people can it fit out there?
We can seat about 100 people out there.
That's crazy.
Yep.
It's huge.
It is big. And that's not including like standing room around the bar.
We essentially added a restaurant onto the side of our restaurant.
That's a massive store.
It is. And the kitchen took on the addition of that pretty well.
Really? But you expanded the kitchen recently.
Not expanded it. We just kind of
Reconfigured.
Yeah.
We renovated it.
We made
updated
it nice again.
Yeah.
So what kind of spurred that on? Why did you decide to add that? Like you were reaching capacity, or you wanted to just
We had
grow?
done events out there. We used to like throw parties out there, like anniversary parties, or we'd throw a random like oyster roast or fish fry or pig picking or whatever. Like we would just rope off the patio and then just have a band or whatever out there. And we only had like 6 parking spaces out there. So we just said, we're not losing anything by converting this. We're not losing a bunch of parking or anything.
Right.
It'll look good. Let's
add on.
Let's do
it.
Yeah, let's build a patio.
It's awesome. It changes the building. It doesn't look so much like the brewery or whatever it was beforehand.
Yeah.
And I mean,
And
I
it
think it's
started as
brilliant.
something
It's
much
nice out
smaller
there.
and got bigger.
Right. Right. And makes sense. Look where we are now. I mean, you build your brand on the porch.
Yeah.
Everything is about the porch. And so that's pretty cool.
So that was a big like turning point.
That's
for us.
awesome.
Yep.
What do you guys think?
I mean, my favorite thing about the patio was just that, people just driving down the road, you can't help but look over at it.
Right.
Because there's people out there, there's lights out there, especially Masters Week when we have a stage and a huge tent up, and it's just nothing but people out there.
Right.
And it's insane to try to make your way through, to, bar back and what have you.
Exactly.
I mean, it just it was just a whole new look to the building.
Yeah. Well, what do you think is your kind of Cowbell moment besides the patio? Like over the years, what are you the most proud of about being at Doc's for that long?
I mean, every Masters Week is always a really fun experience.
Sure.
It's an exhausting experience.
Right.
But just with our, work hard, play hard mentality, it just makes it go by really fast, and everybody has fun. Yeah. Everybody has their breaking point at some point.
And it's packed every night.
Then you just suck it up and keep going.
It's crazy.
Right.
I don't know. I'm really proud of the transition. Yeah. We turned around in 2 weeks, because with any project, you're either going to lose a ton of time or you're going to spend a lot of money. Right. And, at some point you're going to hit that stall where you do one of those two things. Right. And we didn't. And somehow we were able to open on schedule, and
you had a lot of people behind you, and
on a schedule that I did on a piece of computer paper and pen.
Yeah, handwriting.
Drinking beer.
Seems like all the good ideas come from that.
Like the first 5 iterations of the menu was just like notebook paper. Might as well have been in crayon. I mean.
All right, Paul, you're the last one. You got to wrap us up with your Cowbell moment for all your years at Wild Wings.
So I would say Porchside. My Cowbell moment, though, like the moment that I was like, damn, that was cool.
Yeah.
Sweet 16.
Was
still got to throw that party.
Would probably have to be my last year bartending during Masters Week.
Okay.
And, it's balls to the wall.
Before you were a manager.
Yes. It's just balls to the wall crazy. And I had worked service well that entire week, so anything ringing besides managers is coming through that, and you're just nuts all week long. Did that, and finally got, I think it was either Friday or Saturday, I got a break from that, and I was on the patio bar, which was a pretty easy night. I was out there with another bartender and everything, and we're sitting there, and Will Scholer, Daniel's little brother, came out there.
Younger brother.
Little brother?
He's not little.
He's not little. He's larger, just younger. And he came out there, and we had slowed down and everything out there. It was late at night. We had maybe 30 minutes before we had to close. Mm-hmm. And this very large man comes up and snatches me up, and he was like, we've got I don't remember the exact number. He was like, we've got $1,200 before we break our record for whatever night it was, Friday, Saturday.
Way.
And he was
it always gets insane because it's right at the end of the night.
And he was
when we have to do last call, so it's just
right.
So he tells me, he's like, go sell shit, basically. And I was like, all right, sweet. Yeah. And so I immediately run to the pop-up bar, and we have Brooklyn, who was managing with us, and another girl and everything, and they're winding down their night, and I was like, oh no, this is about to be the party bar. Turned off their music, plugged in my phone, cranked it up to 10, and started playing the party music.
Enrique Iglesias' greatest hits.
Yes.
They hop up on the bar and start dancing, and I just start slinging drinks as fast as I can. I look at this old guy sitting in the corner, and I was like, hey, you look like you need a shot for you and your 15 best friends. And he was like, amazing. I don't have 15 friends. I'm like, hey,
you do now.
Here. So he ends up buying 15 fireballs and everything, and then with 4 minutes to go, Will comes up to me. He's like, we broke the record 6 minutes ago.
Way.
And I was like, yep, there we go.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
That is so cool. Grabbed 2 beers and Stone Cold Steve Austin them straight up in the air, poured them all over his face.
That was. I think that was the beginning of our love affair with Natter Days.
That is
it's
amazing.
a very shotgunnable beer.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
That was crazy.
That was my ring the bell moment, or
ring the cowbell moment. I love it
for sure.
Well, I just really appreciate you guys being here on It's not the inaugural episode, but it is the inaugural recording. So thank you for being here, bringing the White Claw, and for talking about the history of Docs. I really appreciate it, and I just really love you guys.
Thanks for having us.
Tell us where we can follow you on the interwebs, Daniel. Not you specifically, Docs Porchside.
on the World Wide Web.
So active on the interwebs.
Yes. Where can we find you on social media?
On Facebook and Instagram, Docs Porchside, Augusta or Grovetown, and then docsporchside.com.
Perfect. And Docs Porchside on Instagram.
Yes,
right?
I said that.
You did?
I believe so.
Okay.
Twice.
All right. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you for being our guests, and let's drink the rest of this.
That sounds good.
Cheers.
Cheers.